Ladies and gentlemen, the kitchen is open once again for service. We are open again. We are open again for service, ladies and gentlemen. This is another edition of Steve's Kitchen here live on the Around the Point network here on youtube.com and also over on twitch.tv. If you are new to the YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Share it through social media. If you're watching this on Twitch, please hit that follow button there as well, as we are trying to become a Twitch affiliate. But I hope all of you had a wonderful weekend. It feels good to be back here on the chair, even though it feels like I haven't left. You know what I mean? Even on our off days, we've been working on our off days. But I hope all you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you all look forward to your week. Hope you started off with a bang and all that fun stuff. Just keep it going, keep it pushing. Ladies and gentlemen, I am that Peruvian Fight TV extraordinaire. I am Lucky Charm Steve. What's going on, everybody? I am Steve. What up, y'all? And of course, we're joined by the gang. I'm here joined first all the way from Detroit. He is the pride of Detroit, the enforcer himself, Big Mike. Big Mike, what's popping, bro?
Nothing much, just chilling. Very calm day.
Chilling, basically. What'd you have for lunch today, man? What'd you have for lunch?
Nothing.
Nothing yet? You ain't the only one, brother. You ain't the only one. And of course, we're joined here by the one, the only Mr. Caden Lee. Caden, what's up, brother?
Steve, I've only been up for about 2 hours, so I'm starting my day. It feels early. I didn't even purposefully sleep in. I just don't have class today.
Aren't you lucky though, man? Be happy. No class. You can relax a little bit. When I was a kid, I used to, again, happy MLK Day to everyone out there. Happy MLK Day. I used to love stuff like this. The fact that there was no school the next day. But that is besides the point. All right. But I know you had a good weekend, Caden. You were at TIA. That might even say, all right, the All Elite Stadium. Fuck, I'm gonna take a page from Romeo. The All Elite Stadium. You were there. You saw the Jaguar.
TIAA Bank Field.
AKA the All Elite Field.
The best stadium in all the National Football League, supporting my Jacksonville Jaguars, then my team. Trevor Lawrence, I never had a doubt of him in my mind. Great time to be there. Honestly though, like the first half was the most disappointed I've ever been. Before I was running a little late because of
accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation.
I was running a little late, so I didn't get into I got into the stadium by the time the Chargers scored their first touchdown. And I was so confused. I didn't even know he threw an interception. I didn't know what had happened. And I went and there's a little place near Daly's, on the Daly's place side. If you guys don't know, Daly's place is on the south end zone. It's basically the south end zone's right here, and then you go into the beginning of the amphitheater and everything for the amphitheater. And they had Daly's place open where you could they had some couches in there. They had the beanbag cornhole. They had cornhole, and they had a big Titantron playing the game if you wanted to go in there and go sit and watch the game in there instead of being in your seat, or if you had standing room, you could go just sit and go watch the game in there, take a break from the loud atmosphere of the crowd, which I actually thought was a pretty nice little touch. I liked that. You have the amphitheater, use it. So yeah, it was I was in the south end zone for most of the first half. I went upstairs to my actual to the actual standing room only section, which was south end zone. But I was literally in the end zone. They have a little peek hole where you can sit up against this. There's a box of ramp, basically a box of guardrails that make a little box, and you can stop there, go up against the guardrail, and it's opened up to where you can see the end zone. And I'm sure I have a picture that I can
provide.
I can try to upload, but
that's fine. Take your time, brother.
Yeah, it's a really cool little touch that they have that you can do. Let me find this.
You were freezing your butt off, though. I can tell you were freezing your butt off.
It was so cold. It was so windy. And I'm a Floridian, so 40 degrees plus a really bad wind chill. That's too cold for me. I was freezing.
Brother, that ain't nothing for me, dude. I work outside. in the airport.
I'm sure it's not that bad for either of you guys who are from the north. I'm from the south. I ain't used to this.
I hear you. Like one of my friends, she lives in Florida also, and she posted like on her stories, it's so cold, and it's like there's like this whole like her window on her door, or like on her car, like the front window was just like ice. And she was in panic mode, like, yeah, this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing, man. This is come on. Again, I'm used to this. I work outside in the airport. I am up at 4 a.m. I am outside, freezing my ass off. So I'm used to this. I'm used to it. You know what I mean? So when people say, "Oh my God, it's cold," no shit, it is. Like I try to put people on my job. Like people tell, "Hey, put me on, put me on, put me on." Say no more. I got you. I put them on. They show up. They step outside. Oh hell nah. Oh hell no. It's cold as hell. I quit. It's happened. It's happened. But other than that, for me this morning, I woke up, right? Went to the gym, got my literally an hour of cardio in today. I got my hour of cardio. Haven't really been focusing on cardio like that. Mostly been lifting for me, but I really got back into my cardio. Killed it today. Then my godson showed up with his friend, and they do most like lifting and all that stuff. So I joined along. Did bench presses, shoulders, basically. I killed it today in the gym. I can't complain. Had a good day so far. And now here we are. I'm back in the chair. It's like it's like I haven't left. You know what I mean? Saturday, you and I, Mike, we were on the watch along over on the Brothers channel, the True Heel Heat Sports channel. We saw the Jacksonville Jaguars pull the comeback against the LA Chargers. Somewhere out there, Chase is screaming, "Fuck Coach Staley." Right? Possibly right now. He was in Vegas. He had a fun time. Then yesterday, the Giants, the New York Football Giants, got the revenge. I was also in that watch along as well, but I had to hop off because my dad came back from Cuba a day before, and that just fucked up my whole shit. Basically. And then factor in traffic. I hate driving in traffic. I hate it. Especially at the airport where I work, which is basically where I work at the airport. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah, you go sit in the end zone.
So that's as far you can go. You can't go where they're standing over there.
No, so those people actually have tickets there.
Not a bad view. Not a bad view at all. I just wouldn't do it though. But then again, that's just me. Because they remodeled them in my airport. They remodeled Terminal A. They remodeled the shit out of it, so it's traffic like crazy. Picked up my dad. Got him something to eat because he hadn't eaten shit yet at that time. And then I didn't get back home until like 11ish. So you can imagine I was tight. Like, bruh, never again. But hey, this is what any son or daughter would do for their parent, right? At the end of the day.
Like, no, I'm like, call an Uber. I ain't leaving the house.
Problem is, dad is very old school. He's very dad's pushing 70, right? He barely got a text message. Let that sink in. Like, he's like, yo, son, question. If I delete Facebook, will it fuck up the phone? Possibly. Because some of these apps come already installed on the phone. You might fuck. And by the way, he's an Android user. Just, again, no judgment at all. No judgment. You know what I mean? I've had Android. I was a loyal customer to Samsung for 10 plus years. I missed their cameras. I will say that I missed their cameras. Those cameras on the Galaxy phones used to slap.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll say that Samsung has over the iPhone. Would y'all agree? Would y'all agree with that?
What? The camera?
The camera quality on a Samsung phone, on these Galaxy phones, are way better than the iPhone.
I don't necessarily agree.
You ever had an Android phone before? Never had an Android?
I have friends who had them, and I don't think their cameras were as good.
Nah, depends which one they had, though. Depends. But That's just my humble opinion. At the end of the day, I know some people here who are listening to us right now. You might be an iPhone user. You might be Android, iPhone. Hell, there's some people out there that still have BlackBerry.
I don't think anybody's got those
What?
anymore.
Yeah, bro. Believe it or not, BBM was the shit back in the day. What? Hey, I remember back in the day, yo, people would go on Facebook. Hey, yo, he'd be up on BBM, and they'll put their whole code in and shit.
I miss those days, man. I remember my sister's friend. She had the latest everything. She had the newest BlackBerry and all that type of stuff. And I was like, man, this phone is ridiculously good.
Yes.
It was that and the Sidekick. Those are my two
Yes.
favorite phones of all time.
What up, Jinda Mehal? What's going on, Jinda? Hope all is well with you. Still an Android user. I have same phone for 7 years. God bless you, TN Couponer. God bless you. I remember when I bought my Galaxy S7, the last Android phone I had. The 3 years it died. The system stopped working for me. Then I upgraded to an iPhone because I got a Mac now, so I had to, right? Let me see here. Frantic World writes here, I want to see the Bengals and the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Can you believe that, Caden? Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Burrow.
That's
that can
not
never happen.
possible.
That's not possible. I know. I'm wondering, like, wait a minute.
It's not ever. It's literally
They're in
not
the same conference.
They're in the
possible.
same conference. I mean,
Frantic World, I'm sorry. It's literally not possible. Like that can't not happen.
The only way that can happen
game,
is if they
maybe,
pull an Astros and go from conference to conference.
It will happen. Amazing
Which won't
comeback for the
happen.
Jags. Exactly. What's up? Let's go Giants. That's what's up, Palou.
That's the
What's
funniest comment, though.
I mean,
That's funny.
no disrespect. I mean, again, we're just.
No, I'm just saying it's funny. It was a funny
It
comment.
happens. It happens.
pretty
It
funny.
happens. It happens. I just want to see, honestly, a good Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Same. No
Like,
matter
here's the
who's
thing.
playing.
No matter who's playing. Granted, I want to see the Giants go all the way, but I doubt they're beating the Eagles on Saturday. I doubt we're beating the Eagles.
All the teams that I hate are out of the playoffs, so I'm just watching it as a football
You know
fan.
what I mean? As a Giants fan, I'll be honest. I don't think they're beating the Eagles. I don't know. Probably not. We'll
Hey,
probably
don't
get them
give a phone hope, man. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah. How about the underdog Super Bowl Giant versus Jags? I think that's possible either, right?
No, that's possible.
That's possible.
It's possible because it's AFC versus NFC.
It's possible. Hey, listen, anything is possible. I just want to see. Listen, as someone who used to work in retail, I used to see people go crazy. Super Bowl parties, right? Super Bowl parties. Even those who never even watched a game of football throughout the season.
Well, yeah, free food. That's why.
Normally, people always ask me before I was a Giants fan, right? Hey, yo, what's your team, man? Me, my team, the New Jersey Open Barsmen. Always supporting the open bar. That's it, open bar. But as far as foods goes, let me guess, nachos, right? Nachos, wings,
yeah,
pizza, mac and cheese,
burgers,
tacos, soda, beer, Casamigos, Hennessy bottle, Patron, the good stuff, I just hate that's on a Sunday. That's the one thing I'll say. I get it, the tradition, it's on a Sunday, but if it was up to me, imagine a Super Bowl on a Saturday.
No.
Just saying.
Imagine Super Bowl on a what?
On a Saturday.
Can't happen.
Could give people time to party, because think about this, right?
I prefer them to just make the day after the Super Bowl an international holiday.
It's not gonna happen.
Or a national holiday.
It ain't happening, but international holiday. Maybe the World Cup. Maybe the World Cup. I think
it's more possible now than ever. I feel like it's come up a lot recently, like the possibility of doing that.
Yeah, me and Rick Flair alone.
It's the least productive day of the year. They've already said like businesses lose money. Like companies will actually lose money because they're paying people to come into work, but nobody's working. Like nobody's getting anything done.
I bet Ric Flair is on the open bar team. Yeah, me and him too. We're teammates, buddy. We're teammates.
He's on the cannabis bar team too.
I don't think you want to say you're teammates with Ric Flair right now, Steve.
Listen, at the end of the day, why? Because what happened in Plane Ride from Hell? because of that?
Not just that. Oh, it happened
All right.
for a long time.
Okay. The same people that are saying this are the same geeks when they go to shows, whenever he does a chop. Woo! Tell me when I'm telling a lie.
The difference between, I think, wooing and not liking
It doesn't matter. Y'all want the man canceled. Y'all gotta stop doing the woo. The same thing when he who shall not be named, right? Y'all want to cancel, but y'all gotta stop doing the woo woo. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't think they're the same at all.
Listen, people. But the point is, though, people want them canceled, though. So all I'm saying is,
folks, where's the lie?
But that's a story for another day. That's a topic for another day. Okay. There's more to get into this week. Just over the weekend, there was some stuff that we got to talk about. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, further fucking ado,
Let's fucking go.
Caden, what we got?
Well, why don't we start with what we're headlining with? Vince McMahon supposedly is back in the office. He's making changes. If I can get what I had back up, I had to close a lot of things.
God damn it, I'm back in charge, pal.
So this came from from Figure 4 Wrestling online last night regarding a note from this past week's Observer regarding how quickly things change. We had been told Vince McMahon was only back regarding facilitating a sale and wouldn't be in the office or making changes, but that has already changed. Ringside News first reported McMahon having been back in the office and suggesting changes, and we've confirmed that story as well. Talent was told on Friday that Paul Levesque would remain in charge of creative, and Levesque threw out a scenario that Vince could make suggestions, and he talks to several people about creative, and they can make suggestions, but he is the guy making the final calls. So this indicates that the original idea and what they had said, what Paul Levesque said in the talent meeting, and what Stephanie, Paul, and there was another guy running the talent meeting 2 weeks ago. I don't remember who the other guy was. I think Nick was there too. The employee meeting, the Zoom meeting, I think is what it was, saying that nothing is going to change day to day. He's just there to facilitate a sale. This report, originally from Ringside News, has been confirmed by Dave Meltzer. So I know people are like, Ringside News, not trustworthy.
No,
they got it right. Meltzer confirmed it.
Ain't this the same dude who got supposedly beat up during Christmas and they stole?
That's not what we're talking about right now. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people kind of dismissed this report at first because it was coming from Ringside News, but Dave Meltzer and Wrestling Observer confirmed this. Figure 4 Online. This was confirmed by them. So it seems like Vince is back in the office. He's back in Stamford. I forgot who it was that said this a few years ago, or like a year ago. They said, I'm not going to believe Vince is out until he's walking out of Titan Towers holding a dinosaur head. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to believe that either, because he still apparently, even after he left, he still had an office at Raw. He still had, or the sign at Raw still said Vince's office and pointed to where you had to go for it. So seems like that still stuck around and they didn't even get rid of it. I mean, my assumption is that they knew he was going to come back. And I know some people like Louis Dangor, sorry, buddy, I'm going to call you out because you're kind of fucking stupid sometimes. You need to shut your mouth. Kept saying on Twitter yesterday and the day before, Vince, this whole time he's been saying Vince isn't coming back. And then when Vince did come back, he said Vince isn't going to be on the board. And when Vince was on the board, he said Vince isn't going to try to sell the company. Now Vince is trying to sell the company. And then he said Vince is not going to come back and do anything creative. And now he's been suggesting creative ideas. He's trying to suggest changes. So anybody who was under the impression that Vince was going to come back and not do jack shit, well, you were fucking wrong. And I told you.
Yeah. And you know what? It's only a matter of time. I know Raw's tonight. Raw's going to be a big eye-opener to see what happens. What changes are going to take place?
I do have some breaking news.
Wait.
It has to do with this.
There you go.
According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, Triple H is currently holding a talent meeting at Monday Night Raw. He assured the WWE roster today that he is firmly still leading creative for WWE. You know what, Triple H, you know what, Paul Levesque, I'm going to say, bull fucking shit. You ain't leading creative, buddy. Vince McMahon is. He's just letting you have your rate. He's letting you have it for now.
The title of it.
Yeah, you have the title, but look, if you don't do anything, that Vince doesn't like, he can 100% change that in a matter of seconds. I said this. He is executive chairman of the board. Vince McMahon is no longer just the top shareholder like he was for the last 6 months. He is the boss again. Nick Khan is not his boss. I know some people who don't really understand business think that CEO is the top dog. It ain't. It's the executive chairman of the board. That is the boss. So Vince McMahon is once again in an executive position. He is the boss of the company. He is Hunter's boss. He is Nick's boss. He is Bruce Pritchard's boss. He is Kevin Dunn's boss. He runs the company once again. So I know people who are like, well, somebody can stop him. Like, again, going back to Louis, I'm going to keep calling this man out because he keeps saying dumb shit. And I keep telling him, I reached out to Louis, told him to fucking stop.
Hold
Keeps doing it.
Hold up.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
I don't even think you can't use it on Louis. Louis made a name for himself.
I know.
Louis has made a name for himself. I'll give him credit. He's gotten some good reports.
I'm busting balls. All right.
I think he works hard, but he says some stupid shit. And me and SP3 kept telling him to shut the fuck up, and he did not. I reached out to him in DMs, told him to shut the fuck up. Man didn't shut the fuck up, and then got upset when fans called him out for it. So
did you really? Did you really?
Oh, I have the DMs. I told him to shut the fuck up. I said, I'm reaching out to you. I'm trying to be nice. I mean this with love. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean,
I reached out to the guy.
Very ballsy of you. Ballsy of you.
We've talked before. We've had issues before. We talked about it. But I told him, I was like, hey, I think you need to be quiet about this. And he kept going and said, and I think a lot of fans believe this, that a lot of fans believe that someone like Hunter or Nick Khan or Bruce or Kevin will step in and stop Vince from, if Vince decided tonight in Cincinnati, Ohio, that he wanted to come out on Monday Night Raw and open up the show and flip off the cameras, say, fuck the allegations, say, I'm selling to Saudi Arabia, y'all motherfuckers can't stop me. Nobody can stop him. Nobody has the power to stop him. People believe that one of them can stop him. No, they cannot. This man can do what the fuck he wants. Nobody can stop this dude. I know wrestlers are saying we're gonna walk out if they sell
it again. He can do what?
We're gonna walk out if Vince takes creative control.
Vince can do what?
Vince
can do what?
What the fuck he wants.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the fuck he wants.
I don't think that really applied, but
hey, he does what the fuck he wants. He can go. Listen, he can go. Yeah, he has go live on the air tonight. Grab that microphone. Grab that power, right? The pipe bomb, right? The power in his hand, and just say what the fuck he wants tonight, if he wants to. Do I think that will happen? We have to wait and see. Like I said, I think these coming weeks leading into the Royal Rumble, versus normally a time where fans get excited, right?
I like this comment.
Triple H playing the video game, but Vince McMahon low-key unplugged his remote control like you do to your sibling.
I did that with my little cousin. I gave her a remote, but it didn't have batteries in it. So she thought she was playing.
How old is your cousin, by the way?
That was when she was like 4.
You cruel individual.
Dude, I wasn't gonna give her anything.
I get.
But my aunt was like, "Just let her play."
I get you. Yeah, you ain't the only one. Like 2 years ago, when the pandemic was really deep in and kids were going to class online, my nephew would use my set, my computer, everything for his classes. So yeah, he'd be the coolest kid with the microphone and shit. So also at the time I had my PS4, right, plugged in too. So I would take the remotes with me. Because again, he's by himself. He's in a room. He has a microphone and everything, right? But I would take the remotes with me. Like, nope, you ain't playing the game. You gonna be in class. You'll be the dopest kid in class with the dopest microphone, a dope camera and shit. Well, everyone, you get the idea though, right? Like you kind of get the gist of it. But like I said before, it's gonna be very interesting to see what's gonna happen. Again, the Rumble is a time for fans to get excited. Road to WrestleMania, right? I know a lot of us were looking forward to seeing a Triple H
booked Royal Rumble and WrestleMania.
Yes, Rumble, Road to WrestleMania. Now there's concern.
Yeah.
Because the
Like
old
we
man,
always thought.
like the old man's gonna say, "Slow down, pal. Slow down."
Look, I get so Dolores saying yes he can, but money talks. He does it and it backfires. He can not only lose money for him but other people. He does not give a fuck. I think that's the important thing to remember. Vince does not care. If he loses money because he goes out, he does not care. He's a billionaire who's 70 something years old. He's geriatric, senile old fucking man. He came back when the board told him that it was a bad idea to come back into the company for this. What did he do? He said, fuck you. No, either bring me back. I'm going to force my way back and y'all are going to bring me back, or I'm just going to deny a media sale. That's what happened. He's already gave them a fuck you. He was told, do not go out on Monday Night Raw when he did it. And they said, fuck you. No, I'm going, or on SmackDown. I'm going to go out on SmackDown. Then he got to the back and said, fuck him. He said that. He said, fuck him after the report came out about the shot that he's still refusing to pay the money that he owes. He owes money still to the board for making those. It was supposed to be out of his own money, but he used company funds. He still owes the board $12-15 million. He has to pay Rita Chatterton. She's asking for. They're trying to settle, and he's refusing to pay her. He does not give a fuck. This guy only cares about his own self-interest. I don't think he's back to really to get like the most amount of money out of this. I think he's back to take over the company. I don't even think he's actually really back to sell. My conspiracy theory is he isn't even back to sell. I think he knew that if he came back and said he was going to sell, the stock was going to go up. And that way people couldn't, like the board and everybody couldn't sue him. Because I think if he came back just to come back, the stock would have plummeted and then he would have gotten sued for betraying his fiduciary duty. But because he came back, the stock went up because he said, we're going to sell. I don't think this fucker's selling the company.
Pretty much.
You know what, Caden? I'm probably going to agree with you on that. You know, I think he's probably not going to sell the company neither. I think he's going to take his sweet time until, you know, he's back in Gorilla. You know,
maybe tonight.
It may be tonight.
I don't think tonight. I think it's going to be a slower process. Like it'll take weeks because I think he has to kind of he has to take his steps. I think if he did it all at once, done. But it's going to take.
I mean, if he wants, if the
old
man wants,
he could. Yes,
he could.
All those statements,
and I agree with this too. Vince is an alpha, which he is. He does what he wants, and that's the thing about it too. Vince ain't a senile.
He's
be
senile.
contested.
Come on, guys. He's fucking senile.
That could be contested in court. You see litigation questioning his mental state.
Yeah, I mean,
really, that doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't give a fuck.
All those statements that he put out saying that nobody's job was in jeopardy, we knew the jig was up as soon as he put them statements out. So it's like,
yeah. And then Tian Capone are saying WWE stock up over 21% in 1 month. It has nothing to do with Vince. If anybody here understands stock, understand business, you understand that Vince coming back is not the reason that the stock is up. It's because they said sell. And when they say sell, people say, let me go buy, because then it's going to go up. And then they're going to have, and then whoever buys it, whoever buys it is likely taking the company private. If they take the company private, then they got to buy out the shares. And if they buy out the shares, that means anybody who bought is likely going to get more money than what they bought it for. So that's why the stock is up. Like I keep seeing people saying, well, Vince is the reason the stock is up. Bull fucking shit. No, it's not.
I'm going to start this comment from Chief. I'm going to start it because it's really crazy when you think about it, right? You know what's crazy? The Rumble is next week, which it is. And
yeah, I leave. I fly next Friday. I'm going to San Antonio, and right now I'm still the only reason I have not bought a ticket to this show is because I don't know if I'm getting on that flight. I have not decided. It is going to be a day of decision, probably the day before because I got a 6 a.m.
dude,
flight.
If you ain't going, let me know. But I'll take your ticket. I'll take it.
I'm not buying a ticket until the day of the show, and I'm definitely not buying before I get on that flight because I don't know if I'm going to get on that flight. Because I bought through Southwest, so I can cancel if I want to and get my money and get credits and use it to go somewhere else. But
I want to know about Southwest, buddy.
I can
after the news that happened a couple of weeks ago with Southwest.
I know all that. They're pretty good.
United,
They
buddy.
let you can't. Steve, they let you cancel flights.
United.
I know
buddy.
how they work. They let you
United.
cancel flights.
United. Just saying.
Never. I'll stick with my Southwest. They've never. Besides that one time, they've never fucked me over.
Let's say let's say he does sell. Can the people who bought WWE, can they let Vince go anyway? I mean, he's probably just who's to say that? Let's say, for example, they sell to Endeavor, the company that owns the UFC. They still have Dana White as the president, whatever it may be. Likely, they'll keep Vince around.
So
we don't know though.
According to Fightful, I don't know if this was posted on Select or if it was said on a show. I don't know, but according to Fightful, they said that they had talked to sources within WWE, within Disney and within Comcast. I think were the two they talked to, and they said that they would not see. They could not see either of those companies keeping Vince on board. The reality is, unless Vince gets a stake in the company during the deal, and if he was kept on as an employee, they could fire him in an instant. He's an employee. He would have to have like a no cut clause in his contract, like something like that, in order to have security in his job. Like if the Saudis wanted to acquire WWE, take it private, and they just kept him on as the president, they still could just fire him the next day if they wanted to. So I think that's the interesting thing about this. Safet saying Vince got to keep his word or else more Wall Street Journal will get him. No, I don't think he cares. Again, I don't think this man fucking cares. I also think he probably fired the person who was leaking it, unless the person leaking it was Hunter, which I still kind of have that conspiracy theory that it was Hunter who was leaking it. I don't think that person's on the board anymore. My other room, because I've been thinking it's either Hunter, Stephanie, or one of the people who's already gone. And Steph's already gone too. So the only person on the board who could have been the one to leak it is Hunter. And I don't necessarily think it would have been Hunter. I think it was most likely to be Stephanie.
I think it was probably one of the people that was already gone from the board.
Because they fired the guy who was doing the investigation.
Right.
The guy who was leading the investigation.
Yeah.
So whoever walked out,
and then that same dude filed a lawsuit.
Basically. Whoever walked out after him, outside of Stephanie, were probably with him as well, doing that stuff.
I'm gonna ban Jinder Mahal just for defending that.
Don't ban him, bro. Don't ban him, bro. Don't ban him.
I think it's a
people
stick.
Who defend
it's a stick. I don't think he's serious.
It's a shtick, bro. You gotta calm down a little bit, all right? I get your passion, but just relax, dude. You gotta remember, dude. There's some folks out there that are fine with Vince coming back, and that's fine. You gotta understand, bro. In this world, dude, you get everything.
I just think if you defend Vince McMahon for the fucking fucked up shit that he did, that caused him to originally have to step down, you're a fucking horrible person.
Bro, but listen, at the end of the day, that's the world that we live in, man. What can you do? You can't just, all right.
Sean put out.
Could the Saudi be on top of the list to drive the price up?
That would be illegal. If because I saw people saying, what if because when that story came out last Tuesday, that when Cassidy Haynes and Steve Muehlhausen said, okay, never mind, I'm not okay. When that report came out that Saudi was that the deal was in place, people were speculating, well, what if WWE leaked that information to get an idea of if fans would like it? That's illegal. That's called it's market manipulation. That's not legal. So no, 100%. That's definitely not it. And then, so Fightful Select posted about 7 minutes ago saying WWE held another talent meeting on January 16th for the Raw roster. Fightful Select learned that staff and talent were all involved at the meeting, which started shortly after 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The meeting was conducted by Paul Levesque, Kevin Dunn, and Executive Vice President of Talent for WWE, Van Ventrell. Thus far, we were told that many of the same points were hit from Friday, including noting that Triple H is still CCO and firmly in control of creative, and that talent relations are not changing. There was also debunking last week's Saudi Arabia story. In Frantic World, I have watched Succession.
All right. But again, listen. At the end of the day, I said this on Twitter earlier. I said this on Twitter earlier. At this point, I'm just gonna sit back, take a couple hits, and watch all this play out. At this point of the game, that's just the reality. That's what you can do right now.
Yeah.
At this point, just sit back, take a couple hits of your blunt or you drink, whatever it may be. Just watch this shit play out. For better or for worse, just watch the shit play out at this point in juncture.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government will also open another investigation against him. Could be.
If he takes back power, no. So I know some people were saying, it might have been Safet too in the comments that was saying, I don't want to call you out for it because I don't 100% know, but I just remember some people in the comments when we were streaming last week saying if he did come back, they could go after him because he assured them that he was only back for a sale. No, that's a PR statement. The PR statement said that he was going to come back. He's not legally obligated to only come back to facilitate a sale. So I don't think that this would instigate any investigation. I think he's been very careful about how he's done it. And the reality is that he's executive chairman. He was voted into power. The bylaws of the company let him do that. So he has not broken any laws by doing this. And if he took over creative today, if he took over creative a week ago, because he was elected as executive chair last Tuesday, if he took over creative at that point, there's nothing that the federal government can do, in my opinion. From my knowledge, I don't think there's anything that they could have done. And I know some people were saying this too, like, could the SEC stop Saudi Arabia from buying WWE? No, there's not a national security risk in a foreign company owning a wrestling company, or a foreign entity owning a wrestling company. So yeah, no. There's nothing that the government can do here, I don't think. It's just letting everything play out. There's nothing, and Safet saying he blackmailed his way in. We don't know that. Like, he didn't technically blackmail. He said, I have voting power. I can deny the media rights. That's what he did. And that's all technically legal. It's in the bylaws. He's legally allowed to do that. So I think it's important to remember that, yeah, while we may not all like it, it's not, what he's doing is not illegal. It is perfectly legal. It is perfectly allowed. He can do this in a legal sense. In an ethical sense, that's a whole other question. But legalities don't care about ethics.
No, they don't. But like I said, man, I hate being repetitive with this shit. At this point, I'm just gonna sit back and watch this shit play out.
I can talk about this all fucking day. I honestly really like this. I like the
and
conversation.
And I get that, but at the same time,
I don't
listen.
like the situation. I like the conversation about
exactly,
it.
and that's the
for
thing.
people like us, it's important to talk about what's going on.
And I think also listen, if you're a podcaster out there, this is material to talk about. At the end of the day, whether it's good or bad, this is material for you to discuss. At the end of the day,
I don't want to sugarcoat it as like this is just for us to get views and everything. And I mean,
it kind of is though.
I mean, to be transparent. That's why we streamed Tuesday night, because we knew it was going to be a big topic, and we knew people were going to want to talk about what was going on with Saudi Arabia. But I do think us as none of us. I am in journalism school, so I do want to become a journalist, and I've done some journalist things. I would consider myself a journalist, to be perfectly transparent. I know Steve doesn't, and I know Big Mike don't either.
We're just content creators.
You're content creators. But I think it's important that even though we are just like us three we all share that we are content creators. I think it is important for us to give our opinions on this situation. It affects hundreds of people, thousands of people. It affects 150, or I think it's 120 people on the main roster talent. It affects 70 to 100 people in NXT. It affects hundreds of people who are backstage every night at Raw, SmackDown, NXT house shows, and it affects the thousands of people who are in Stamford, Connecticut working. So this affects a lot of people, which is why I think it's important for us to have the discussion about it and to be clear about what we think could happen. And
I just want to know why Vince can't let go. Why his life mission?
He's a
die
geriatric old fuck. He's a billionaire. He's a billionaire old man. Like, I don't want to be rude to anybody who's going to think this isn't an insult. It's not meant to be, but he's a conservative billionaire old man. That's just how the dude is.
And also, there's some folks out there. Listen, if I had the money that Vince had, I'd be set, bro. I'd literally be set. Enjoy myself. You know what I mean?
I'd go sit on the fucking beach. But
exactly. But the problem is, the problem is, there's some folks who just can't help it.
Yep.
There's some folks who just can't help but to be working. If that makes sense. Say what you want about Vince, say what you want about him, but you can tell the man still wants to work.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, even if you feel like, oh, he's killing his company. So that aspect I can appreciate. Even if he shouldn't be doing it. The man's still working.
Yeah.
As much as I don't agree with it. At this point, he should literally be in some beach somewhere, private island, wherever the fuck it may be, enjoying the fruits of his labor. That's just my opinion, of course. If WWE sells to Saudi, do you think the WWE DVDs go up in value?
No.
No chance.
No, not necessarily, because I've got a dozen of them, and I bought them for the low.
Me too.
No, there's no way. I think over time,
maybe the Blu-rays, but not the DVDs.
I think that's just a factor of over time. I think physical media value will go up as we get further and further away from physical media. But that's a whole other conversation, and I am not qualified to talk about physical media.
Like,
I listen to people talk about it. But
I have a Sting WWE Sting Blu-ray that's worth $50.
Yeah, I thought about going into law school to do business.
My brother went to law school.
Yeah, I thought about. I've definitely debated it. If I might decide to do that after college. Like, I just had to do for my social media management course. We had to do an introduction, and one of the questions in that was, "What are you going to do after college?" And I had a friend ask me that a few weeks ago. We were just talking, and she said, "Well, like, what do you think you're going to do?" And my response was, I have no fucking clue, because I've actually, like, I sent y'all, and I'll talk about, like, just to kind of move away from Vince and talk about some positive shit for a bit. Last night, while we were doing the streams for True Heel Sports, the people on Twitter were talking about the u.com like AI text, and you can like text, and you can text it, and you can ask who you are, and it'll give you like a most of the time it's like pretty like.
Can you do me a favor? Can you link me to that? Because I'm
I'll send you.
It's gonna be funny as shit what they say about me.
It's funny as fuck.
Here we go.
He's already got a couple funny things.
I got some really good ones that I read on the air.
Here it comes. Heel Steven. Junkie. Doesn't give a shit. I can just imagine it already.
They called you an egomaniac.
They called me an ego.
Something like that. I forgot what I sent it in the chat. But I also when I did that, it said that I was an author for Fightful.com.
What did it say about me?
Actually, it said I was what?
Eat me, egomaniac. What else did it say about me?
I don't remember. I'll talk about it later. But
it's gonna be fun.
It told me that I was an author on Fightful.com, and it linked to my name in Fightful. And I actually typed in my shoot name. This is my wherever it is. Oh fuck! I can never shit. There. Yeah, there it is. There I don't use my real name. So I typed in my real name, and I did not realize my real name was in Fightful. And so I went and looked, and I found that I have a byline. I actually have two bylines. One's like for just the podcast because I did an interview with Billy Starks, and the other is an article byline because it's transcribing my interview. And so that was just something that I saw, and I kind of just didn't know how to feel because that's a big goal that I've had since probably since 11th grade. I started having that goal. When I first found Fightful, I was like, I want to get a byline in Fightful. And I technically have, not technically, I literally I have a byline in Fightful. So that was just a big goal that I accomplished. So I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do after college. I've definitely thought about going into business law and seeing if law school, like if going to grad school, seeing if it's good, and then going into law school or whatever, and see if that's something I'd enjoy. Just because I've accomplished a lot more in this space than I thought I ever was going to, and maybe I want to go do, because I like doing new things. I don't like staying complacent. So it's something different. And if I can get my parents to pay for it, fuck yeah, I'll do it.
There you go. Anyway, like I said before, like my brother, he went to law school. He went to law school in Washington. And it's crazy because what he does now, he makes more money doing that than he would have been being a lawyer. My brother's a business consultant in Chicago. It's crazy because like I tell people, oh, he's a lawyer. But reality is, I found out in Chicago when I went to see him, when I went there for Forbidden Door, that he's a business consultant. And he makes more money doing that as he would have been had he been a lawyer.
Steve, I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. Can you just transition to the hard to kill?
Okay, no problem. So, Kaden will be back. So, Big Mike, Steven, it says you're a social media user and that you're an avid pro wrestling fan. That's what's up. All right.
Yeah, I just typed it in too. That's exactly what it said.
Send me a photo of that. Send me a photo if you can. But anyway. Over the weekend was hard. Okay, before we get into that, do I want to let you guys know real quick that the throwback will be back. We'll officially record it this week and it'll be up next week. It's the return of the throwback. So Big Mike, let the people know what pay-per-view we'll be recapping going back in time.
Yeah, I know it's been highly anticipated that we bring back the throwback, and it's back. Normally around this time we pick like a Royal Rumble pay-per-view that we normally would review, but hey, we did a lot of them, and not a lot of them are good, but we'll probably do it like next year or another Royal Rumble in January. But we decided, since it's the new year, let's do New Year's Revolution 2005. That's what we will be reviewing, and it'll be up next week.
It'll be up next week. It'll be a recorded video. Just keep that in mind. So it'll be one of those premiere things this coming. Well, sometime I say we'll have it up. We'll
do it right before the NXT review, so it'll be up in the morning. Let's do that.
It'll probably be.
Let's do the morning. Let's do 10:30.
10:30 morning. That's fine. That's fine.
Cause that way we get double equal views for
yes
for the NXT.
Because I was gonna say too. What if we did? Because this week is the Raw anniversary, right? What if we went back and watched the first Monday Night Raw? The first episode of Monday Night Raw. Granted, I'm sure on Peacock it's edited, right? There's a lot of shit that probably won't be on it now.
No, it's not. I actually watched it. It's the same.
It's the same?
It's the same. They edit some. I think the things that are mostly edited are Attitude Era stuff. So things from 97 on down is edited.
I gotta read this. So I gotta read this, yo. This is funny as hell. Heel Steven is the Twitter handle of Steven Heel, a wrestling fan and content creator. He's also known for his work on the Smart Busters podcast and his YouTube channel, which features wrestling and pop culture analysis. He is also active on Twitter, where he often shares his thoughts on wrestling and other topics.
They're in Cincinnati today, right?
I think so. No, aren't they in Philly? Hold on. When is the when is the Raw anniversary?
I think the anniversary show is today.
It's today?
Because if they're in Philly, that's where it is.
Okay.
I'm looking for it. Oh man, I really want to go to SmackDown on the 20th, but I don't have money for it.
Happy, but listen, man. Hopefully, parlay.
Yeah, I could probably get some tickets. Yeah, tonight, hopefully. Go see Roman Reigns.
Pretty much.
Okay, no, it's not. It's in Cincinnati today. Saturday night's main event.
Okay, so it's next week on Philly.
They brought back Saturday night's main event.
So it's a house show. So now it's for them. It's a house show basically. But Raw next. So next week is the anniversary show. on the go home
next
show
week.
to the
Yeah.
Royal Rumble. Basically, that's their anniversary show. So there's
Okay.
that. Okay.
We could do this. We could do this. We could do this. Let's do this. This is live thought process.
Live changing. Oh, Big Mike.
We
Wait a
can
minute.
do.
Wait a minute. Is it breaking news? A little breaking news here, Mike?
Yeah, but I don't know how you'll take it. But this is my thoughts.
Okay, here you go. Big
We
Mike's
can
thoughts
do.
right here.
We can give you not one,
But
but
two
two throwbacks for the month of January.
Brother.
But this is the thing. We would have to watch it. We would have to watch New Year's Revolution, drop it. No, we would have to do Raw first because
It's
next week will be, yeah. So we have to do Raw first, drop it Thursday. And then and then we do New Year's Revolution 2005. Right.
Give me a coin. So someone give me a coin, okay?
No coin flip. I'd rather do two. Just for this month only.
For the one time.
Yeah. And I like this idea too.
Because
go for it because Raw is less than an hour.
There you go.
And the review wouldn't be that long either. So we'll make it a short review.
We can do that. I don't oppose that.
And we take our time with New Year's Revolution.
We take our time with it. That's fine. Well, I'll tell you what. Next week, we're going to be recap. Next week, on the throwback, it'll be the first episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and we drop it before Raw.
On Monday. So basically, we got to record this week on a Saturday.
Yeah.
We got to record on Saturday and have it uploaded by Monday. And then the following one,
we'll have to drop it. We'll have to record Tuesday
on the weekend.
Drop it Saturday.
Record on the weekend and upload it on the weekday. Basically.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's the plan. That's gonna be the plan. Yeah. That's gonna be the wave, if you will.
So breaking news. Yeah, breaking news. We're doing this. 2 throwbacks for the month of January. From here on out, it's only gonna be one. So don't make it 2.
don't expect. Hey yo, no. But listen, when it comes to the throwback, though, we're gonna jump. Like we're not gonna just stay on the WWE stuff. There'll be some WCW. There'll be some ECW. Right. Dare I even say Impact Wrestling? Old TNA?
Maybe.
No,
old TNA, yeah. We can do old TNA.
Old TNA, the good.
And shoot, I might have one of those just lying around, depending on which one you want to do.
Exactly. We'd have to resubscribe to Impact Plus, and after you subscribe,
I can't afford it. I can't afford it.
I had to cancel it. Like, bro, I don't even use the shit. I don't even go on it.
I can't afford it, bro.
And it was funny, bro. Like they were still billing me. Like they were still billing me like $8.99 a month. Like, homie, what the fuck? I don't even go on this shit.
Yeah, because you have your credit card on their subscription. Of course, they're gonna keep billing you. Huh?
No, but I had to do PayPal. So it's
I think every subscription service should do what DoorDash does. You can pause your subscription. That's what I've been doing. I've never canceled my DoorDash subscription. I paused it.
So let's move on. So over the weekend was Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill. It's on a Friday. If you guys remember this past Friday, myself, Big Mike, we were on the True Heel Wrestling channel, on the brother channel, basically. True Heel Heat.
Who just hit 4K. 4,000. Yeah.
Shout out to them, yo.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
They killing it, bro. They're making moves.
And getting ready to hit 300 on the sports channel.
Yes.
And I think they're almost at 5,000 on the wrestling channel.
Yeah, they'll be there. I guarantee they'll be at 5,000 before we hit WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, yo. They'll hit 5,000 before we hit WrestleMania. They will. You wait and see. That being said, Mike, so we were on the live watch along. We did a Friday Night Warriors. We watched SmackDown. We watched Impact, and of course, Rampage. But our focus was mostly Impact. Dare I say, it was a good show. A good pay-per-view by Impact Wrestling. Now,
it was decent.
This is my issue, though, with Impact. And it's been the same thing since God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have these amazing pay-per-views, but then they don't carry that momentum. Mm-hmm. They don't continue that momentum. Like Impact, I feel like, and again, listen, I have a right to say this. Can be some of you in the comments say, "Oh, but you don't watch Impact. You know, there's no Impact review, what have you." And I get that, but keep this in mind. Guys like me, guys like Chase, and others, we've been watching TNA since 2006, 2005, 06, 07, 08, 09. So we've seen the glory days of TNA. We were there from the glory days. Mike, I don't know about you, but were you there too?
In passing, I casually watched it, so I don't remember any storylines.
Yes.
I vaguely remember any matches, but I was a casual TNA watcher between
Yes.
2005
I used to
2008.
enjoy the old, Ultimate X matches with Petey Williams, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Amazing Red, Chris Sabin, right?
I know my favorite faction was Team Canada. That's
Team
all.
Canada was an amazing faction, right? Robert Roode, Petey Williams, A1,
Beer
Eric
Money.
Young, Beer Money, the glory days, right? The fucking glory days. And at the same time, when you have the glory days, you also have the dark days, 2011 and up, right? Victory Road 2011, them losing their network deal with Spike TV, right? Where they were getting 1 million viewers, and then from there going to Destination America. And within a year, they lost that too. And then they had to go to Pop TV, them owing money to the state of Tennessee. It goes on and so forth, right? It goes on and so forth. So I've seen the shit. I lived through the shit. Just keep that in mind, people. Keep that in mind. All right. So I have a right to say this shit. That being said, I thought Hard to Kill was a good pay-per-view. The only problem is they don't know how to carry that momentum. They don't. So, Big Mike, you got to see Action Mick Jackson, bruh, in that six-way.
That was
Did you just call him Action Nick Jackson?
Mike Jackson, Mick Jackson, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
He's old.
So
we'll just say that.
So, Caden, after we have a surprise. I don't know if you caught we have a surprise for you, Caden. We'll get into it after the impact. We'll get into it after the impact talk real quick, all right?
Okay.
Promises kept, promises earned. So, yeah, Mike, what are your thoughts, bro? Action
Mike Jackson, man. As a fellow Mike myself, I thought he did a decent job, but he's old, man. Doing a suicide dive at his age, that's oof.
Yeah, what's crazy, dude? It was a six-person match. In a one-on-one match. I seen him walk the ropes, all four corners. I even seen him walk the barricade.
Yeah.
In a match before.
Yeah.
That being said, Kushida won. But at the same time, it's like, the same Kushida, who, by the way, will be wrestling on Dynamite this Wednesday against Darby Allin for the TNT title, right? That's cool to see, right? After this, you had Trey Miguel versus Black Taurus, X Division title. I thought
that was a decent match too.
It was. For what it was worth. Then we killed off. We started off the main card with the world title match. They let you know it's the world title match was opening the show. And at first I'm like, why are we doing this? But then it hit me. Because at the same time, Mickie James is going up against Jordynne Grace. At the same time on Rampage, they're doing the tag team street fight with the women. So I'm like, all right, makes sense, right? I thought the world title match, Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray, it was a good showing. My only problem is it was overbooked as fuck. Yes, it was Full Metal Mayhem. Everything goes, but it was way too fucking overbooked.
Heavy disagree.
For my liking.
I thought this shit was I was doing a few things during this show. I was at an indie show, so I kind of had it on in the background
GCW?
while I was
GCW?
Watching. But no, it was not GCW.
You wish it was GCW. You wish it was GCW.
I fucking wish. Oh my god, the show I was at was. I'm not gonna slander. Not my type of wrestling. Okay. Nikita Lyons was there
in the crowd.
She was.
Yeah, she was in the crowd. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Nikita was there. My friend was like, "Hey, can you come with me to ask Nikita to take a picture and you take the picture for me?" And I was like, "I cannot do that. I was like, look, I understand if you want to ask her for a picture, you can do that all you want, but I'm a member of media. I am told that I've been told by my boss I cannot do stuff like that. So no, I am not going to be a fucking mark for Nikita Lyons and her fat ass.
Damn, you're not a good friend, homie. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I get it though. I respect it. For me though, again, it just felt like an overbooked Impact Wrestling match. You see, it's vintage Impact.
It's a Full Metal Mayhem match.
I
Like,
get
what do you
that,
expect,
and
Steve?
I get that, but it was layer after layer after layer. I thought overall, Bully Ray was a good heel.
It's a hardcore match.
I get that, and for me, Bully Ray, I'll never forget Lockdown 2012 when he was revealed to be the president of the Aces and Eights, and he was in the cage with Jeff Hardy. He was celebrating, right? And he went to Hulk Hogan, I used you, and he went to Brooke, I used you, and then I screwed you, which is funny as shit, right? I think it was me and Chase were the only one that loved that whole thing. Everyone hated it, but it is what it is. Point is, though, I just felt like it was overlayered, right? You then had Tommy Dreamer come out, and then you had his wife come out. Mike, anything that I'm missing anyone that came out during this match?
I'm gonna just wait.
Wasn't it a tag team that came out to help him too?
Yeah, it was a tag team.
Steve, did you watch Impact leading up to this match? Did you watch the build?
Parts of clips. I know the whole story is that Bully Ray won the Battle Royal at Bound for Glory, aka Bound for Bankruptcy, which I used to call it back in the day.
Call Your Shot Battle Royal.
Call Your Shot Battle Royal at Bound for Bankruptcy, which I used to call it back in the day. He won, and leading up to this, Bully Ray threatened to attack Josh Alexander's wife. Something like that. He tied him up or something.
He took out a lot. So he threatened his wife.
Yeah.
Threatened his child, I believe, as well. He beat the fuck out of Tommy Dreamer.
And also Scott D'Amore, I think.
And he beat up Scott D'Amore last week leading in. He also had that tag team help him beat the shit out of everybody. So this match was the full come around to everything and the culmination. So you have the beginning, the tag team comes out and helps because they've been helping Dreamer they've been helping.
Was that Reno Scum?
I don't know who the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I don't remember their names, but they came out and they helped Bully. Then Dreamer comes out. Dreamer takes them out. Teases that he's actually on Bully's side, and then gets his payback on Bully. He gets his payback, and then Bully ends up taking him out. And then his wife comes out as well. She comes to the ring, and she hits that low blow and helps him finally beat Bully, who's been making his life a living hell since October. So this was a culmination of everything. So while it might have, I don't think you could use the term overbooked.
It was
because the definition of overbooked does not apply here. Was there a lot going on? Sure, but overbooked is when I don't even think we use the term overbooked right. I mean, we don't use the term booking right either. Like, I don't think we use the term booked at all, like correctly whatsoever. We wrestling in the IWC takes liberties with certain terms. But the term overbooked is overused. It's not overbooked here because the whole story was involving all of these people. The only person they did not have to come out and get revenge and be involved in the story to make everything come full circle was Scott D'Amore. He was the only person not involved in the match. So they used the tag team that they've been using. They set that up. So that was going to be used. They set up the whole stuff with Dreamer getting his revenge. So we knew Dreamer was going to be used likely. And we knew his wife was going to be involved. Like I knew that from the beginning that his wife was going to be involved in the finish because they set that up throughout everything. So I don't think it was like by the definition of overbooked. I understand what you're saying. There was a lot going on, but I don't think the phrase overbooked applies.
Fair enough. Again, everyone has a right to their opinion. All right. It is what it is. But what got to me near the end, my man does a move from the top of the ladder, which, by the way, that there was a moment in the match where they're on top, Bully flips the ladder, right? And you're wondering, oh shit, it's a high ladder. Mike, I think it was you who said it, right, Mike?
Yeah, I thought it was a really tall ladder.
And he lands on the thumbtacks, right? But that's not the point. He does a dive off the ladder onto a table where Bully's laying in, and that's normally it. It's over. Once that hits, that should be the 1, 2, 3. but he used it as a transition move into an ankle lock, which I get at his finisher. I get
That's
that.
his finisher.
That's fine. But to me, after that, it's a 1, 2, 3. It's over. For me, that is. But overall, though, Josh Alexander is fucking amazing. It's like I think who was it here who said it in the comments, right? I think it was Franigal or someone who said that Bully Ray said that he is it's Team Coupon. I'm sorry. Bully Ray called Josh Alexander the modern day Kurt Angle. That's very true. He is literally the modern day Kurt Angle in the sense of his attire, how he performs. That being said, the guy deserves way much better. And I would love to see a WWE or even an AEW or how even a New Japan pick him up.
WWE is not going to use him correctly. I can just tell you that right now.
No matter where he goes, no matter I just
AEW doesn't have the space for him, and
I just
New Japan could use him potentially correctly. I just don't see him.
I don't see
him succeeding there because of the way he wrestles.
I just want him to get paid. That's all
I understand that. I'm just saying, like, I think right now he's in the best spot he could. I think right now
lucky to have him. Impact is lucky to have him.
I think right now he's in the best spot that he could that he's likely going to be in for the rest of his career. This is
Impact is lucky to have him. I'm just saying that right now.
This is he's the guy in Impact right now, and I think that's exactly where he's likely going to end up. I don't see him going really anywhere else for his career. I think this is him.
But anyway,
he's also a little older too.
Let's move on. I don't have the match list here, by the way.
We don't need to go through every match on this card.
I know. Also on the show, Eddie Edwards versus
Gresham.
Jonathan Gresham was a very good match, very Ring of Honor like. Trey Miguel got pinned in his tag team fatal 4-way match. He deserves
Trey
better.
Miguel was not in a tag team.
My bad. Chris Bay got pinned. I'm like, bro, he deserves better. In my opinion.
I agree with that.
I know he's loyal to Impact. I know that was his favorite company growing up. I know he was a YouTuber back in the day. So there's that too. So again, it is what it is. Also, Motor City Machine Guns, like, bro, they've been doing the damn thing for years, bro. And it's like, I'm amazed that a AEW or even WWE hasn't picked them up.
I mean, there's a reason why AEW hasn't picked them up.
Because of the Bucks.
Because Saban's under contract.
Besides that, though, bro, no more fucking around, yo. You got to give me. You got to give me.
As far as I know, what's his name? The other guy, not Saban. Shelly. Shelly's a free agent, and I mean AEW did. They had him on the match, and they had him on All Out. So AEW likes Motor City, and I think that's a good. I mean, I don't know when Saban's contract expires, but I think that they could finish their careers in AEW. But again, like when we talk about that, I think it's important to remember when we're like, why all these guys on Impact were great, like Masha, Jordan, Mickey James is in Impact right now, Josh Alexander, Eddie Edwards, Chris Bay, all these people. Why aren't they being used better somewhere else? Other places don't have the space. So I think it's important to remember that. Like I know like a lot of people are going to bring that up, but like I know somebody brought up Josh Alexander in Ring of Honor. What the fuck's he going to do there? Like they have a bloated AEW.
Sign me up for this. If this ever happens, sign me up. I remember this too. Beer Money versus Motor City Machine Gun, the best of 5 series in 2010. That was TNA, one of the best thing to happen for TNA in 2010. It just sucked that they put this in the bottom and then let's showcase the EV 2.0 guys and shit, which was their take on the ECW invasion, which whatever. Also on the show was the main event, Mickey James versus Jordan Grace for the Knockout title. Well, the stipulation was it was part of the last rodeo for Mickey James. If she lost, she'd retire. It was
the end of the last rodeo.
The end of the last rodeo. Yes. And everyone, I'm assuming, even myself, thought, okay, this is it. This is over for her, right?
I expected her to win.
Part of me thought, okay, she would do business, do the right thing, put over the young talent here. Because let's face it, Jordan Grace, you know, she's still going to be around. I'm not saying that Mickey James won't be there either, but hey, at this point, I thought going in, Jordan Grace was going to get the job done. And then after that, I just found out basically.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yep, basically, I got played. Great match though, for what it was worth. A very good
Yeah,
match.
it was a really good main event. I liked Mickey's entrance. The only thing that tipped me here was having Masha win earlier in the night. I probably wouldn't have done the match because once Masha won, I was like, all right, yeah, Mickey's winning because they've done Jordan and Masha twice in the last few months. So because they did it at Bound for Glory and then they did it like a month later at whatever the November show was.
Yeah,
So that's what kind of tipped everything. Where I was like, all right, Masha's winning that. So that means I think Mickey's winning, and then they'll have Masha beat Mickey. So that's what I expected. I was like, all right, Mickey's winning this match.
That needs to happen. But overall, though, like I said before, a good pay-per-view from Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, Impact always does pretty good pay-per-views.
The problem is, and I said this earlier, they need to continue. They lack in continuing that momentum. You know,
I'm a heavy disagree on that.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I think that they do. I think that they have consistently one of the better shows in pro wrestling. The difference is that they're not on a big stage.
And they just lack a buzz. They just need that buzz back.
And I think the reality of the situation is we're not going to ever get that. I think they're in their spot. They've got their niche. Maybe they can pick up people here and there, like getting Kaz back. I think is a really good thing for them. Yeah. I think Masha. I think the potential, like if they can build Masha correctly, Masha's building a following. Like she was on the Sports Illustrated's top 10 wrestlers for 2022. Absolutely. So that's she's got a lot of eyes on her now, and I think having Masha as your champion, I think they're going to do Masha and Jordan. I think they'll do Masha. Maybe I think the Rebellion will do Masha, and then at Slammiversary they can do Jordan versus Masha Part 3. So I think that could be really good for them. And then Josh Alexander is a good. I don't know where they're going to go next with Josh after this. Maybe you do a Kaz Part 2. Or you could do, I think Speedball is another guy that they could do another Speedball match and actually put the fucking title on Speed. I think Speedball is getting the title next. But they're getting buzz. They're getting word of mouth from the IWC. I think the reality is that this is it. Like this is the most they're going to be at unless they get like an actual television deal, not on Access, because they own Anthem owns Access, so they're not making any money from television. They're making all their money from ticket sales and pay-per-view buys, and people who are subscribing to their YouTube to get the shows and watching on there, because I don't have Access, so I subscribe to YouTube and I pay like $7 a month and I get the special shows, all of them, but like the 4 pay-per-views a year they do. So I think. I think they're doing some really good work. I think unless they get like a massive name, like if Kenny wants to go back and do some more shit over there and
I don't think that's get
the title back.
That ain't gonna happen.
I think the belt, because Steve, let me finish. I think the belt collector is back. So if he wants to go be the belt collector again and go back to Impact and take his shit back, I'd be totally down for it. But it's not fucking happening. Yeah. I never said it was happening. I was in the middle of explaining myself, and he just cut me off. Like, it's not happening. I'm like, I was gonna finish.
Listen. Let's move on. We got to move on here. Okay, we got to move on here. Also, over the weekend, it was AEW Rampage. I really wasn't focused on the show because I was watching Impact, the pay-per-view that is, right? But I do know that we did have Darby Allin defend the TNT title against Juice Robinson from. The former IWGP US champion, member of the Bullet Club still.
He said that on BTE. He said Dark Order tried to recruit him. Or maybe it was I think it was on BTE. It may have been Dark Elevation, where the Dark Order tried to recruit him because they're recruiting people right now. And he said, no, I'm Bullet Club for life.
I thought their match was okay. I didn't go crazy about here. Like you knew going in, Darby wasn't losing. Like
I thought it was a good match. I think Juice is starting to get over with that crowd. Which is a good thing because when he came out, he made a surprise entry. He did a match on Dark Elevation on the December 7th tapings of Dynamite and didn't get much of a reaction. And then even at Ring of Honor, he didn't get much of a reaction when he faced Samoa Joe. So I think it's just because he wasn't a top guy in New Japan. He was starting to get there and then had his appendectomy. Yeah. So I think that kind of hindered him a lot because they never gave that title back to him. They kept it on Ospreay and they did the stuff with David Finlay. They just didn't book him right. And then AEW took him in and now they're having to deal with like, okay, this guy was on a great run. New Japan fucked that up. And so now how can we get this guy back into what he was doing for the last year and a half as rock hard Juice? And they're getting there. I think they're starting to get there.
Yeah. I remember Forbidden Door. It was Ospreay and Orange Cassidy,
Yeah,
and you had
it was up in the box.
you in the box, and no one gave a shit.
Yeah, and
No,
because they just didn't
no
book
one
that
gave a
right.
fuck. Yeah. Also on the show, you had Eddie Kingston and Ortiz teaming up against the House of Black.
The Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King, the
Sorry.
PWG Tag Team Champions.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you for the correction. The whole thing is where Eddie is not tagging him in, and they're hitting the split up. They're hinting it.
Yeah, this started in San Antonio, where during the Rampage on San Antonio Holiday Bash Rampage on December 23rd, they did a promo. It was Eddie Kingston and Ortiz in the ring. They called out House of Black, and they said, "Get your spooky asses down here. Turn off the lights. Do whatever shit you need to do, but get down here." Someone yelled that the Yankees suck. Eddie Kingston said, "Your mom sucks." Your mom's sucking on D. No, I think he said like your mom sucks on D's nuts, something like that. It was great. Loved it. And then they did House of Black said, basically hinting that Ortiz is going to turn on Eddie to play some mind games. So now Eddie's very afraid of Ortiz. That's why he didn't want to tag him in. He thinks Ortiz is going to turn on him. And I mean, I know some people don't like this. I think they're just not giving it enough time. They probably should have done this match like last week or the week before. They could have done it in Colorado. I think it might have been supposed to be in Colorado, but there were some travel issues. So they had to redo a lot of Rampage for that show. So I think that's maybe why it took a little longer to get here, but we got it. I think they're probably leading to a split up
Me too.
Or Santana, unless they I think they were going to originally do House of Black versus the Elite at Revolution. Now I'm starting to think maybe they're doing maybe Santana is about to come back and they're going to do Santana, Ortiz, and Eddie versus House of Black at Revolution, probably on the buy-in or 0 hour, whatever they want to call it. I think that's probably where they're heading towards right now.
Could be. Then the main event, you had the women's tag team street fight: Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale versus Tay Conti and Anna Jay.
Time Mellow.
I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Okay, I can't help it. That being said, I thought, listen, I know there's a lot of people out there that felt some type of way online.
This was some bullshit.
Fucking
stupid.
I understand.
I don't understand. If you're going to complain about Ruby Soho blading, she did one little blade and blood went everywhere. Yet I don't see the people complaining when Ilya Dragunov did the same shit 2 years ago on NXT TakeOver 36. I don't see people doing the same fucking, it was 36. 36. I don't see people doing the same thing. Anytime Moxley's covered in blood, when CM Punk was held over on March 2nd Dynamite, was held over with the chain and was hung over, and MJF did the you stupid old man, I'm a snake, and he was fully covered in blood. People weren't complaining that CM Punk was bleeding too much. Yeah, Ruby Soho, same fucking thing. And people are like, he's bleeding too much. She's bleeding too much. Women can bleed the exact same amount as men. There's not a difference here between a woman bleeding and a man bleeding. This is fucking stupid.
I understand your frustration. I understand your passion. It's just that the reality is, for some people out there, it's just not a customary.
Then Steve, here's my solution. Don't watch a match called a street fight. It is called a street fight. You saw the street fight from last year between Ty J and Ali and Penelope. Y'all fucking knew what was going to happen. You know how AEW street fights work. So why are you watching and complaining? You knew what was going to happen. This is so fucking stupid. If you're complaining about blood in a match, don't watch a fucking street fight.
I get what you're, and again, it goes back to what I'm saying. There's some people that are just not custom. But what I will say, I thought they had a very good showing.
Yeah, this was great. Like
I want to believe. This is my belief. I want to believe that Ruby did the blade job, but I think she overdid it. That's my belief.
I mean, sure, but I don't I don't give a fuck.
To me, is again, for you, you may not give a fuck, and that's fine, buddy. You may not give a fuck. That's fine. You are well within your right. And then there's some people out there that felt some kind of way, and that's fine. That's the world that we in. That being said, I didn't mind the blood. I didn't mind it. I did not mind it at all. I thought, again, they had a very good showing. for what it's worth. Yes, there was the botched table spot at the end. It happens, and I hope that Anna Jay is all right.
Yeah, I would assume Anna Jay is okay because we would have heard something by now.
You know,
If she wasn't, and MJF even came out and said that she's fine. So
hypocrites.
yeah, I think if you're gonna complain about this, you're perfectly okay. I mean, I feel like this happens a lot whenever there's like whenever there's a really bad blood job in AEW, people like to say unsafe.
But I think also the problem is too with AEW. Not every match. There's some matches where you'll see blood, and it's normal. They made blood.
Brian Danielson said that's why he went to AEW. That's why he
Yes.
signed. He wanted to bleed in matches, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
The reality is that in a real match, if these people were actually wrestling, most people will be bleeding throughout the whole match. That's just the reality. We would realistically probably be bleeding in almost 99% of wrestling matches just because of how your body works. So, I mean, if you know in AEW there's a street fight, you know there's going to be a lot of blood. You know somebody is going to blade. You know there are going to be some crazy spots. You know somebody's probably going to it just happens. Someone's going to take a nasty bump. Same shit happens in WWE. Yet nobody complains about it when that happens and say like, oh, AEW needs a performance center. It's a botch. Shit always fucking happens. God damn, people are fucking stupid about this.
Again, bro, what can you do, man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can call people fucking stupid. Call a spade a spade.
To be fair, though, listen, I've seen worse bleeding before. I mean, Ric Flair bled every single match back in the day.
I feel like everybody forgets that. Remember when Britt Baker broke her nose in like 3 different matches? Shit happens. There's this is at least we know that Ruby's face was fine because she just bladed. Like, I don't know. Big Mike, how do you feel about this?
I honestly don't care. To be honest with you, I don't. It's wrestling. What can you do? You can't please everybody.
Yeah, that's the reality too. You can't please everyone, and that's sometimes what's cool about wrestling. There's certain things that's not going to be for example, I'll give you this example. I am not big on deathmatch wrestling. However, when I'm high as shit, oh man, I love it. Just happens. Like you won't see me at a CZW show, one of these H2O. I probably won't go. I'll watch it. I'll see something that people will send me. But again, sober me, it ain't for me. But after a couple hits, Alex Colon is my guy. Just saying. All right. But I mean, at the end of the day, like what you like. It's fine. All right. I thought overall the match, for what it was worth, they all put a good effort in. I enjoyed it for what it was. You know, I just want to believe again, Ruby overdid her blade, and it's fine. It happens. Mistakes happen. No one's perfect. No one's fucking perfect at the end of the fucking day. All right?
Yeah, shit happens. It's also just, you can sometimes you're just going to hit a spot, you'll hit the wrong spot and it's going to bleed more.
Yeah.
Any blade job, anytime you blade has the possibility of having a little too much blood. And I think it's important to remember that she's perfectly fine. I think when people are like, well, she bled too much and that's not she hurt herself. No, she didn't. She's fine. She did not lose too much blood.
She was still moving.
Shout out Kate Elizabeth for my favorite tweet this weekend. Women bleed once a month. They're okay.
Yes. People need to also realize, regardless of people mad watched it, same people just hate to watch.
Some people just hate watch.
Anyway, before we wrap this up, Dana White revealed on Twitter. He revealed on Twitter.
Fucking stupid. Look at this belt. Look at how stupid that belt looks.
What is this photo here? What is this photo? What is this other photo?
I was going to go to this next.
Okay, but this is the new slap championship belt from Dana White. I mean, it doesn't look like my cup. It's not my cup of tea.
It's nobody's cup of tea.
But this is probably something you would see at an indie show, like an up and coming mom and pop indie show championship belt. Here you go.
It looks so cheap.
Exactly. That's the point, though. That's what I'm trying to get at. If you go one of these rinky dink indie shows, The belts are basically that. There's no backing to it. It's not even re-leathered. It's just here you go. You got to give it back. All right, Caden, what is this photo right here?
It's Uncle Rowdy.
Uncle Rowdy. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it.
Big Mike, what are your thoughts on Uncle Rowdy?
I don't know what to make of that, to be honest with you.
I get it, the wolf. I get it. I get it. I get it. I understand.
I wanted to end with something fun, and then
Yes.
the last thing I want to talk about today.
Eddie
I did not put
Guerrero
it in the
did
notes.
before.
I realized. I wanted to talk about my favorite wrestler right now. I wanted to put him over because he's not getting enough love. Not a lot of people know who this guy is. He's really fucking talented. I think he's got great comedy chops. I think he's great in the ring. Look, I know a lot of people talk about Eddie Guerrero and RVD's Frog Splash, and Montez Ford recently, a great frog splash. But this guy has the best frog splash out of anybody I've ever seen in my life. He's phenomenal. Some could say that he's a little dominant. That's Dominic Mysterio.
Really?
I wanted to just talk about how great this wrestler is. He's
Really,
so
Mike?
talented. I want to send my love to Dominic. The man was in jail. He just got out of jail. He knows how Martha Stewart feels. I feel so terrible for him.
He a thug now, man. He a
He must
thug
have
now.
gone through a lot, eating grill sandwiches, running from the Dementors. Look, apparently he got the teardrop. He did some shit. He did some shit in the clink. I want to say shout out Dominic Mysterio. I'm very happy that you got out of there alive, and you said, "Hey, we got a problem here," and he took control of the situation. And I mean, that man, he's a fucking legend, a legendary man. He knows how to get through jail now, and like I said, he knows how Martha Stewart feels. I wanted to send my well wishes to Dominic Mysterio. He's the greatest wrestler to ever step foot in the squared circle.
Yeah. So before we wrap this up, I know we talked about this earlier, but Caden wasn't around. He had to step out for a bit. But Caden, so there's an update to the throwback. There's an update.
Okay.
So for the month of January, we're going to do 2 episodes of the throwback. Not 1, but 2. So being that next week is the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw.
Raw is XXX.
Yes, we are going to go back and watch the first episode of Monday Night Raw.
Oh, it's a bad episode.
Hey, listen. Like I said before, the good, the throwback, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You get all of it. And then the week after, we're gonna recap New Year's Revolution 2005. Did I say it right? New Year's Revolution 05 or is it New Year's Evolution?
I think it's
No, it's Revolution.
There
It's
you go.
Revolution.
So that's what we're doing.
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling something up.
No problem. But that's what we're doing. Just to remind you guys. So the first Raw review, but the first, Mike, help me out here.
What?
Help me. What I'm trying to say here.
What, the first Raw
Yeah.
review?
There it is. The official logo. This is coming from the Wells Fargo Center website where Raw is XXX will be held. Raw is porn.
I do hope they bring back the old set. I do hope they
Oh,
bring
The
back
Attitude Era set?
the old
You're
Titantron.
expecting way too much out of it.
Or you know what? Have them bring up their old belts.
No, they're not
Or,
going to
you
do.
know- Or you know,
Bischoff already said he won't even be there, so they're already going to miss out on Bischoff.
or if not, you know what? Bring
Bischoff
back
doesn't make it. I don't care.
the old red ropes. Bring back the old red ropes.
I don't like Bischoff, but man, I just want Bischoff. I just want to hear the song. I'm back, and better than ever.
Say that again, Caden. Sing that again.
I'm back,
Yep.
and better than ever.
Wow. Anyway. So that's what we're doing. Next week we'll have the first Monday Night Raw on the throwback. It's less than an hour, so that could be quick, right? And then the week after we'll recap New Year's Revolution 2005. Again, for the month of January, 2 throwbacks. After that, going forward, it's 1 throwback a month. That's what we're doing. What's up with people not liking the Judgment Day stuff? I think it's funny, not bad. funny, but good funny.
So I don't want to call out coworkers, but this is it's not everybody. It's some people. I love Kate, love Alex.
So
I'm blocked.
you're
I'm
throwing
actually
names. You're throwing names out.
yeah.
Kate.
I'll
Look,
throw names out. Like I'm blocked
but
by
you just,
them.
but
Or
you
sorry,
just say
Kate is a friend, but Alex actually blocked me on Twitter for saying that I like Dominic Mysterio. I am officially blocked by Alex Pawlowski.
don't know who he is, but okay.
Sour Graps. I think it's
I
part of it is a gimmick. They run a show called Kate and Alex have a show called Sour Graps, and they're sour about Raw. Part of it's a gimmick, and fine, they're making a lot of money
this
from
will
that. So
well,
good for them.
Caden,
But other
Hushy?
people like Will Washington, Righteous Reg, and Phil Lindsay all on Grapsity talked. They put over Dominic. They said they really liked this shit. So I don't think it's everybody. I don't know how Sean feels about it. I haven't listened to him talk about it. I don't know how Denise feels either. But I know Kylie today was like burying it, which was like okay.
But Dominic, they're burying Dominic.
Burying Dominic, yeah. I mean,
look,
I've gone on. Me and Kate have gone into it on stream. We've gotten into it on Twitter. We've gotten into it on text. We've had conversations about this because we both feel very differently. She thinks Dominic Mysterio is dog shit. I think is he the greatest in the ring? No. But when it comes to WWE, I don't need
character development.
Steve, stop cutting me off. I'm talking.
Go ahead.
When it comes to WWE, I don't need great in the ring because I'm not expecting that. I don't need great acting. I'm not expecting that. I want to be entertained. And everything Dominic is doing is entertaining the fuck out of me. I loved the stuff where he got arrested a few weeks ago. I loved him with the teardrop tattoo a week later after getting released from prison. I loved what he did last week with embracing Prison Mike. And he's perfectly serviceable in the ring. He ain't that bad, guys. He's not the worst ever in the ring. I feel like we're overestimating. Like, he's really not that bad. Is he great? No. Is he even good? No. But he's not that bad. There are way worse wrestlers in WWE than him. Aaliyah.
Fucking Mark!
That didn't work there, Steve.
I don't care. But I'm kidding. Listen, I said this before about Dominic. Even Mike's the witness to this. I said for a long time before he turned heel, bruh, can we send this kid to Tuesday nights?
Yeah,
The
he's not
number
good
one
as a
defender.
I think he found he's also getting reactions.
But you know what though? Since joining the Judgment Day, he's picked it up. Character development is the thing with him.
Yeah.
Now, like you, I don't think is he the next. If he's the second coming of Eddie Guerrero, that's the real father, right? No, absolutely.
He needs he needs a lot of ring work to get better. And
also,
I do agree he needs to get better in the ring
and in shape and in better shape.
The point of this is that I don't care. I don't need someone to be fantastic in the ring when there's a million people who are great in the ring. I don't need that especially when it comes to WWE. He's entertaining as shit.
Like, you know what it is too.
He entertains me. He's going to be in a tag team with either Priest or Balor, and they can carry the match. So if it's a tag team, they can carry the match. Dom just has to come in and do his few spots and be good at doing that. And I think if he can be good at doing that, which I think he was good at doing that with Ray, then he'll be perfectly fine. I don't need Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay in the ring. I don't need Bryan Danielson levels of work from him. I don't even need Cody Rhodes, who I think is like perfectly fine in the ring. I don't think Cody's like amazing or anything. He's good. I don't need Otis. Like I think Otis is actually like fairly good in the ring. I don't need that. I just need like basic stuff because he's fucking hilarious. And anytime I bring it up, I say, like, I think he's hilarious. So, like, well, no, you're just laughing at him. I'm like, that's the point. You're supposed to laugh at him. That is the point of the character. It's supposed to be laughing at him. I feel like we're undercutting what he's doing.
I agree with that, too, though. I think people have way expectations from him because Ray's his dad.
Yeah, and that's WWE's fault for putting them together. But
and I'll say this, though. And I'll say this though:
Rey Mysterio to come back to your company instead of going to AEW, you had to bring in Dom. You didn't have choice.
And I'll say this too: for someone in Dom's situation, let's face it, everything that's happening from him is way too soon. In general terms, right now, right? But I appreciate the fact that he knows that, and he's doing everything in his power to make it seem like they just handed him this shit. If that makes any sense. Like he's
Yeah.
picking, like he's literally putting in the time, putting in the work. And again, who's to say in a couple years from now we're looking at probably this up and coming, future champion? We don't know.
Maybe in like 2 years he's on a Kenny Omega level. Like we don't. I'm also.
I mean, imagine
I
he gets released and he goes to Japan,
yeah.
becomes a
My
young lion. You know what I mean?
My least favorite thing people can say is that putting him on television in a main role when he cannot work that well is a slap in the face to wrestlers. You're not in the roster. You're not on the roster. You're not backstage. I don't think you really even know that many people backstage. You maybe know like one or two. You cannot say it's a slap in the face to people backstage when you are not there. You are not in their position. So I don't think it's any of our position. Like none of us. I know some people backstage, but I'm not going to speak for them. That's not my role. That's not my job. I'm not back there. If they want to speak about it, then they can. But this is a job, and we're not there. So I don't think us or anybody, and I'll say this, anybody in wrestling media who, if you are not a wrestler and you're not backstage in that locker room, and you do not have information that tells you that they are upset about him taking TV time away, then you don't get to fucking speak on this. It's not your job. It's not your role. This is speaking for people who you don't know this. So you're making shit up about that. It frustrates the hell out of me because people have been saying it about Dom and they said it about other stuff too. Like there was another thing. I think they said it about Theory for a bit too. And my response is, you're not back there. You can't speak for these people.
Yeah.
You shouldn't speak for them.
Anyway, with that being said, we're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to put a bow on this show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. This week on Steve's Kitchen, we'll be back live tomorrow for the Raw Rundown at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. For the Raw Rundown, myself, Big Mike, will recap everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw. Just to give you guys the heads up one more time, this month, we're going to give you 2 throwbacks. This next week, we'll be recapping the first Monday Night Raw from 1993. And then after that, the week after, we'll be recapping New Year's Revolution 2005. Okay, just to let you guys give you the heads up. This episode of Steve's Kitchen will also be available on the podcasting feed, Spotify and Apple Podcast. So if you guys would please give us the 5-star rating on both platforms. It does help out the show in the long run. All right, we'll be back again tomorrow for the Raw Rundown. It's another week again here on the Around the Point Network as we enter into week number 2 of this, or week number 3. I lost count already. It's week number 2.
Week 3. This is entering week 3.
Yeah, entering week 3. We've just done 2 weeks already, and I'm loving this. Okay. But thank you guys again for making this all possible, for listening to us and all that fun stuff, taking the time out of your day, whether you're at work right now, whether you're at home, doing homework, whatever it may be. We appreciate it. All right. If you are new here, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, twitch.tv, please hit the follow button there as well. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. Big Mike, let them know where can they check you out, man.
You can check me out on Twitter at DetroitGamer313 every day on the Around the Point Network.
Alrighty. And Caden, let them know where can they check you out, man.
You guys can find me on my new Twitter account at Caden, Kaden, Lee, Lee_. That is my new Twitter. Please go find me there. I'm trying to boost my followers since I'm very likely not going to get back into my old one, unfortunately.
Alrighty then. With that being said, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Raw Rundown. I want to thank you guys again, as always, for myself, for Big Mike, for Mr. Caden Lee, for everyone that listened today. This has been another edition of Steve's Kitchen. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful flipping day.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.